Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back another video today. And today, the New Orleans Pelicans have beat the Utah Jazz 128-121. And it's not often that I say this, but bad win for the Pelicans, good loss for the Utah Jazz. When you're at the point where the New Orleans Pelicans and the Utah Jazz are at basically the end of the season, New Orleans played their game 61 tonight, so they have 21 left. This was Utah's 60th game, so they have 22 left. When you're at a point both these teams are at. Pels 17-44 after this win tonight. Jazz 15-45 after this loss tonight. You have nothing to play for. I guess there would be a chance for either one of these teams to make the play-in if you did not lose the remainder of the season and just won out all your basketball games. But there is no way that happens. There is a better chance the sun doesn't show up tomorrow at all. Then either one of these teams are winning the remainder of their games. So with that being said, with both these team seasons basically over, both have many good players injured at this point, and I think at some point in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing both of these teams resting players that they don't want to play at the end of the season with how bad their records are. When you play a team that is just as bad as you, and you know a draft pick is on the line, and getting a better draft pick or potentially getting a worse draft pick, or helping out another really bad team get a better draft pick. In these games, I feel like you got to intentionally lose. I don't think look, this is something I said last night. I'm talking about one of the games where I thought that, okay, this was bad for this team to win. It was the Philly game. I was talking about this. It was Philly beating Golden State. I was like, this is not, you want a better draft pick where, at this point where Philadelphia is at in their season. And I talked about this with Philadelphia last night. It's not something these players are thinking about. It's not something that Pelicans had 9 players touch the floor tonight. The Jazz had 10. It's nothing that the 19 players on this floor tonight are thinking about. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking about their careers. They're thinking about winning a basketball game. I very well think it's true that both the front office, both front offices, and both ownership in both these organizations, New Orleans and Utah, have a draft pick and getting a better draft pick in their mind. But I don't think the players do. And if you did, there wouldn't be 249 points scored in this ballgame. Really wouldn't be. But the reason I say bad win for New Orleans, because New Orleans and Utah, if you look at the top 4 in draft odds, the New Orleans was at we're at the 4th best odds, and Utah was at 3. If you did not know this, the teams that finish with the top 3 worst records in the NBA all have a 52% chance to be in the top 4 in the NBA draft. The worst 3 records in the NBA also have a 14% chance at landing the number 1 overall pick. But if you're the 4th worst record in the league, instead of having a 14% chance of being in the top 4, you have a 12.5% chance. Sorry, a 48.5% chance. And then, if you want to get the number 1 overall pick, instead of your chances being 14%, it's 12.5%. That's the 12.5% I meant to say. So, your percentages, if the Pelicans would have lost this game tonight, Utah would have had a better record than them, and New Orleans would have passed them and the worst records in the league, or one of the worst records in the league. And New Orleans' top 4 odds would have gone up from 48.5% to 52%, and their number 1 overall pick odds would have gone up from 12.5% to 14%. I think this is a key draft, having Cooper Flagg in this draft. And the last thing I'm going to say before I move on to the actual game itself is, if you're Cooper Flagg in the comment section, which one of these disasters do you want to go to more, the New Orleans Pelicans or the Utah Jazz? I know as fans, we'd probably all love to see Zion and Cooper Flagg play with each other next season if Zion's still in New Orleans next season. I think either one is probably not an amazing team to go to, but if you plug Cooper Flag next to Zion, maybe they can figure something out and become a good team. I don't know if Zion's healthy. But let's go to this game, 128 to 121. Zion, 24 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, 11 for 18. Maybe if you want to get a worse draft pick, you need to start resting Zion. And that's not a terrible idea with his injuries in the past. Maybe you shut down. Look, Zion's pretty healthy right now. He's playing some of the best basketball he's played all season. It's not like he's playing bad, but your record at this point, his injury history, it might be wise to just shut him down. CJ McCollum had an amazing 25 points and 8 assists tonight, 10 for 18 from the floor. Trey Murphy had 20 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 26 points and 9 rebounds for Kelly Olynyk with 4 assists against his former team, the Jazz. Played with them last season, then got traded to Toronto mid-season, played like a season and a half there. No, it was he got traded. It was a season and a half. Bruce Brown had 8 points off the bench with 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. That was it. For the Jazz, 21 points for Bryce Sensabaugh, 12 points for Kyle Filipowski, 28 points for Keontae George, 16 points for Oscar Tishaby. And I'm just gonna say this: the guys the Jazz on the floor had on the floor tonight. I mean, you can see the Jazz want a worse draft pick. I mean, like Keontae George is tough. I'm gonna say this. Why is he coming off the bench? Like Isaiah Collier is a stud. He's a great player. KJ Martin's a really nice player. As a Rockets fan, I've watched him in Houston. But why in the world is Keontae George coming off the bench? I get he plays well off the bench, but I mean, Filipowski has to be at the center. I get that. Maybe at your small forward positions, you got your small forward and power forward positions, you got Sensabaugh and Johnny Juzang, and obviously Collier's at the point guard, but. Really? KJ Martin starting over Keontae George? I mean, what is that? I mean, still played great basketball at the bench, but I don't understand why he's still not starting. But yeah, like I said, good loss for the Jazz, bad win for the Pelicans. I'm gonna stand on that hill. Let me know your thoughts on the Pelicans win in the comment section, and peace out.